Hey everyone, it's Kate. We're gonna be talking about probably my least favorite Christmas rom-com movie in the entire world, which is a big feat. Not big feet, not Bigfoot. This is not a movie about Bigfoot. I wish it was. I've seen an insane amount of like Hallmark-esque Christmas cheesy rom-coms that filled Netflix in like October to December, and I wanted to talk about one of them in specific. I wanted to talk about one in specific. Wait. I wanted to talk about one. So this is not gonna be like me like watching a movie because I've already seen the movie and I rewatched it so I could write this. I've probably seen it like 3-4 times maybe because I watched it with my siblings. So that's kind of embarrassing. I'm gonna take you through my process of picking this movie. I got a flashback to a few years ago. When I first watched A Christmas Prince. It's like, whenever a character, like, touches something and then they get, like, a bad memory from it. That's like me, except whenever I was looking on Netflix, I was like, I've seen this movie, and the sequel, and the third triquel. A trilogy. Duh. It doesn't matter why or how. I just have seen all of them. And we're only going to talk about the first one today because I was going to rewatch the second and third one. But I was like, I don't think I can. Like, genuinely. After I wrote about the first one, I was done. I don't ever want to watch a Christmas movie again. Christmas Prince. If you like bad movies, I would say watch it. But, like, if you don't want to waste an hour and a half of your time, I'd say don't watch it. I think it's, like, 93 minutes. I think it's, like, an hour and 33 minutes. It should have been 0 minutes. Basic summary. Our protagonist, Miss Amber, I don't know her last name, is a reporter, journalist, girly who wants a raise because she's like only like a low-time editor or something.
Clean it up.
It's not just a cleanup, it's a major rewrite.
What are you, the executive editor now?
What do you know about the royal family of Aldovia?
Aldovia? Wait, the king died last year and the prince who's supposed to take over is a total flake.
Playboy and scandalous socialite. His royal hotness is due back this weekend, but just in case he abdicates, I need somebody there to capture the fireworks.
You're talented, hungry, smart. And none of my regular writers can go this week.
So she goes to Aldovia, which is like a made-up country with the king and queen and monarchy, right? And she and a bunch of other like press people are like, oh my gosh, we're going to the castle because the prince, who's like a playboy and avoiding press for like months or years or something like that, is coming back because his dad died. So he's like, I need to be king now. So everyone's like, is he actually gonna show up? Is he actually gonna be king?
We're going to have to cancel the press conference.
So a bunch of people are going there because they want like the scoop and like if he's actually gonna be there. But then nothing really happens, really, when all the press people, everyone leaves because it's like, okay, you had fun at the castle. Like no one was allowed inside, right? Because it's the place where the princess and the queen and everyone lives. But Miss Amber somehow sneaks into the castle from like a servant's entrance or like where like caterers come. I don't know what it's called in a castle. Like the peasant hallway. And she literally like walks in and like walks down like giant hallways with like a bunch of stuff and she's like taking pictures. And then when so like first of all, there's no guards that you see. And then the second someone comes next to them, like finds her, they're like, hey, are you the tutor for the princess? And she's like, yes. She has the biggest press badge like known to man. And the guy is just like, you were the tutor, right? You're American, so you must be the tutor. But like literally 5 seconds ago there were like dozens of people from the press outside the castle. So like obviously the guy in the castle, like the assistant or butler or whatever, would assume that she's also part of the press and she has a giant press badge, but instead he's like, no. And she's like, and she like freaks out. So it's obviously like she doesn't know what she's doing there. So he's like, you're the tutor, right? And like gives her the answer. So it's like, is this guy like wanting an assassination on the queen and stuff? So it's like kind of crazy how they just let them in. How they just let her in and then they introduce her to the queen and to the prince, the playboy bad boy prince who sleeps on beaches and stuff because he wants to be free.
Wow.
They weren't even like, so like, we need your identification, we're gonna do a background check, we're gonna make sure this is you. And the tutor wasn't even supposed to come for like another few weeks. So it's like, this is not her, guys. I could, like, literally, just because she was American and she was, like, there,
Just your face.
Something wrong with my face?
No, it's perfectly normal.
Perfectly normal.
Literally, the prince like cuts his hair because he's been like on the run, and then he cuts his hair and she's like falls in love with him. It is so funny. Immediately she's like, oh, hey. And it's like, dog, this is the most basic looking man ever. Like, I don't see the hype. He literally looks like a Ken doll. Like, sorry, Ryan Gosling, you're not Ken. This guy's Ken.
I'm just kidding.
But like, I'm pretty sure I had a Barbie doll, like a Prince Barbie doll, like a Prince Ken doll, who like looked exactly like this guy. Like, obviously they wanted like a clean cut, basic looking guy, but she's like fawning over him, like foaming at the mouth, being like, hey. She tutors the princess, they become like close friends and stuff. Like, no one really, like, a bunch of like filler happens where it's like, oh, she doesn't like her at first, but then she starts to grow on the princess, Emily. Emily's the princess, right? She's like talking to the prince, she's at like family events and little parties and stuff. So it's like a lot of like very basic filler. Like, they go on like snowing, they go snowing, they go play in the snow. I think they go down a sled.
I'm gonna get you. You are so done.
Got to get boys!
But like basically it's like, oh my gosh, this girl is bringing fun back to the princess's life because she has no friends. And she's like a kid, so she's like, I need human interaction, and my old mom can't do that for me. And my brother has been gone for like a long time because he dipped, so I don't have anyone.
So I forgot to talk about an entire scene of the movie because I forgot to write about it. Basically what happens is Prince Richard goes to ride his horse somewhere. Amber's like, ooh, I'm gonna follow him. So she gets on another horse and follows him into the woods. And then her horse kicks her off of it. And then she like walks around the woods for a bit, gets attacked by wolves. Prince Richard saves her, takes her to a cabin. They have this like sweet little like heart to heart, and then I talk about boring stuff for a little bit.
There's no real like chemistry, it's just kind of like awkward chatting. And then she this is so random. She in like a random ass desk drawer, Amber, she's like a reporter, so she's still there to like report on the prince, right? She finds adoption papers for him. So she's like, oh my gosh, the prince is adopted. This is like a amazing story because no one knows this. So like she holds on to it and she leaves it in her bedroom for like anyone to find because she's staying in the castle because she's the tutor, right? Whatever. And also Emily finds out that she is not a tutor because she like opened her laptop and like found out that it was not her. But she's like, I'm not gonna tell anyone. Just don't report about like blah blah blah. She's like, oh my gosh. Emily's like, I don't care that you're not like a real person and you like invaded my house and my life and you're here for malicious reasons. Just don't report badly on my brother and I won't tell anyone. And she's like, okay, sick. You just like let it like a random person into your house and then you find out that it's not who you thought you let in, and it's just like, it's fine. It's fine. Just don't do anything wrong, man. Like, I'd be like, are you gonna steal shit from my place? Reporters are ruthless, man. She's like a MJ from Spider-Man, but like less cool. You know, like sneaking into places, getting in trouble. And then also, I forgot to mention this, but there's this other, it's not really important, but this other girl is like in love with the prince, but we find out later that she's like a conniving little brat and she only wants the throne. And oh my gosh, so the cousin, the prince's cousin, looks like a genuine weasel. Like, I know that sounds like awful, but there's never been someone who looks more like a weasel, like a human form of a weasel, than this guy. And his name's Simon. Simon wants the throne and he's like, crap, the prince came back, so I can't do it. And for some reason they won't let women be the ruler. Like, they're skipping over Emily. And also, the queen is already there, so, like, why don't they just make the queen there? Because, like, the king died. So, like, why doesn't she just stay queen? Why does there have to be a man in charge? And then Christmas comes around, or is it Christmas Eve comes around, and the people find out that he is adopted. For some reason, Simon and the conniving woman, I honestly don't know her name, I'm sorry, break into Amber's room, find the adoption papers, and are like, oh my gosh, we can be king and queen because Richard is not going to be able to be king because he's adopted. So then they tell everyone and they're like, oh my gosh, and then they're like, and she's a reporter. In front of like an entire ball of people. He's like, she's a reporter, guys. She's a snake. She's a snitch and she hates you, Richard. And then Richard's like, come on, man, don't be a dick. And then they're like, I'm not a dick, you're Dick. Because Richard and Dick, you know. Good joke. I know. Hilarious. And then Richard's like, oh my gosh, I can't be king. I can't be king. And I actually kind of wanted to be. They find a ornament that the dead king, like the dad, made. They break it open for some reason. And they find a royal decree that's saying any adopted kid can still be king and queen. King or queen. Not like any adopted kid. Like, you can't just be an adopted kid. You have to be adopted by the royal family. It's all worked out. Simon and the evil lady don't become king and queen. Aldovia's saved. Woohoo. Yay. But why on earth did the king make like a royal decree and like stamp it and everything and then put it like, tuck it away in like an ornament? Like a Christmas ornament, like an acorn shaped ornament for his family on, like, because he loved Christmas. Make a law. It's not that hard. Like, if he could have done that, why didn't he just not make it a secret? Like, they literally made fake birth certificates for him to make it seem like he's actually their kid. And then he made, like, a royal decree and hid it. So it's, like, actually, like, if my first plan fails, like, just adopt him, change the law, and you don't have to hide him being, like, a adopted kid. Like, it's not that hard. It's crazy how it's, like, this whole plot point that they made. It's, like, the writers just needed to fill 90 minutes. But, like, it's not that hard to fill 90 minutes to having a rom-com. We've seen it a billion times. She, like, dips. Like, she completely just, like, dips. Which is insanity, because she infiltrated a castle! A castle with royalty! And then she's just like, yeah, bye. Like, she doesn't get, like, murdered. She doesn't get, like, shot. She doesn't get imprisoned. She doesn't go into the dungeon. Like, girl. She just leaves and goes, like, back to New York or whatever. I think that's where she's from. I don't know. Which is insane. Because, like, if you, like, impersonating someone is one thing. I think that's already, that's, like, illegal. And she, like, she lied to the entire, like, to the queen of a country, to the prince of a country, to the princess of a country. Girl, they're gonna, like, bring out the old guillotines and have, like, a public execution just for that. It's like, if you wrong me and my family, we're gonna chop your head off. Don't do anything, and she's free. And she dips. Okay, and then, like, the final scene of the movie, Mr. Prince, or King, whatever, Richard, goes to New York to visit Amber and is like, hey, girl, I'm in love with you. Will you marry me? Who let this man out of I was about to say Genovia. I want to watch Princess Diaries. Who let this man out of Aldovia? Because he was, like, running away, traveling the world, when he was supposed to be there being king. And the second you lock him down, he leaves. Like, put him in a dungeon, babe. But, like, at the same time, the security is so lax that I don't think it would be that difficult for him to sneak away, because judging by how easily Amber got in the castle and stayed in the castle, I would not put it past Richard to be able to escape and get on a plane. Just thinking about, like, the United States, don't, like, presidents, even, like, ex-presidents consistently have, like, a ton of security? And, like, flying internationally? Do you guys think he took coach? He took economy. He's, like, sitting in the back and he's like, can I please have some tea and a biscuit? They're like, would you like a Dr. Pepper or a Diet Coke? We have some ginger cookies. But whatever, so, like, they're, like, engaged and whatever, and that sets up the second movie. A royal wedding. Or the royal wedding, I'm so sorry. I know that this movie does not have, like, any A-list, B-list, C-list, D-list celebrities and actors, so, like, I know it's not going to be amazing actors, but there are some, like, low-budget films that have fine acting, and I know that acting is more than just the people talking and acting. It's the script, the directors, the compatibility, the chemistry. Those are the same things. Like, I don't want to be super mean to the actors because it's very rom-com-y, hallmark-esque Netflix original movie style. So like there are so many movies like this that are more so supposed to be very cheesy, which can be fun, but it's just every bit of this was so bad in my opinion. But it just feels like it's like very, very awkward, like their first time seeing the script. They don't know what's happening, you know? Very like awkward pauses, or like people are like very stiff in the background while other people are talking. And even like whenever someone else finishes, there's like an awkward like half second too long pause. It's very like clunky and not in like a charming way. The cinematography. Film nerd alert, film nerd alert. Blah, 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 blah. Just put, if being a film nerd is illegal, put me in jail, put me in the slammer. I'm just a film freaking baddie. I watch movies. But like, yeah, cinematography sucks. The film making itself sucks. I know this movie is not like 2001: A Space Odyssey or Jaws or Blade Runner. It's not supposed to be outstanding with how it looks. It's not known to be outstanding for its looks. It feels like they tried to make it as ugly as possible. I think the people who shot this had like an obsession with making everything insanely bright and saturized because, oh my gosh, the insane amount of lighting is ridiculous. Like it's like a flashbang. Not like in a Warzone game. Like, I'm not in an FPS game. Like, don't flashbang me. That was so cringe. Ew. Okay, that was gross. This is not a video game, so don't do that. Ew, I'm grossing myself out. Okay, but, like, it's just, like, it's way too much, like, over lighting. Like, it's like, okay, oh, my eyes. Like, you have to watch this during the day because if you're watching this, like, in a dark room, I'm pretty sure you'd go blind. Don't even get me started on the weird shots. And, like, because, like, sometimes I go for, like, a little bit too long where it's, like, someone speaks and then they stop and then, like, the camera stays on them for, like, a little bit longer. Or, like, someone's walking and it stays on them a little bit too long. Or they have, like, random dialogue stuff that adds nothing to the plot. Or anything. And I think it's just to hit the 90-minute mark, honestly, because without any of it, I'm pretty sure it'd be like an hour, maybe. Don't even get me started on the Christmas decorations. There is so many, like, wreaths and lighting, or string light, Christmas lights. It's like the filmmakers thought we were gonna forget what time of year it is if they take it off the screen for, like, 5 seconds. It's like they tried to do like the Home Alone bit where they had like red or green in every single shot, but worse. And not to be nitpicky, but the outfits. So Amber wears like this disgusting like cardigan that's like super tight on her with like a gross button up that's like completely buttoned up with like a really long collar. She looks like a substitute from like 10 years ago. Like it feels like her sweater got shrunk, and she also has like one button. It's like either do no buttons or multiple. Like it's just like one right here, and it's like, oh babe, not a good look. Not a good look. Okay, but I'm done being rude to Miss Amber. She has gone through so much. And I was gonna talk about the 2 other movies, but this movie's gonna be pretty long, I think. Not like pretty long, but like an average length, and I don't want to make it like 40 minutes long or anything like that because that's a very long video and not many people are gonna be watching a 40-minute video about Christmas movies. If you guys like this style of video more where I'm like talking about something and like discussing what I dislike or like about it, just let me know, because like if you like it more than the like real-time reactions of movies, just let me know what you like more, because both are fun and I like doing both. But if you're still here, thank you so much, because most people do not stay to the end of videos, so if you are, that's very great, and thank you so much. Yeah. Like and comment and subscribe, because if you don't, you're gonna be stuck in an Eldovian dungeon, and Amber is gonna be next to you, and she's going to, I don't know, pretend to tutor you or something. I don't know, I can't think of a good one for this one. Like, I try to think of it in the moment, but that was not a very good one. You're gonna be stuck in an Eldovian prison. I think that's bad enough. Yeah, I think that's, like, pretty worse. I think that's bad. But seriously, thank you so much for staying. And if you celebrate Christmas or any other holidays coming up, I hope you enjoy your holidays, and I hope you have an amazing new year. And, well, I hope the end of 2023 is good, and I hope 2024 is even better for you. Yeah, hope you have a good holiday break, Thank you all so much for watching. Bye.